Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. I say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Tease me, see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also giving away a free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every IT purchase in July. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Ford only allowing their managers to now lease EVs, which is a cruel and unusual punishment, some might argue. Now, this is brought to us thanks to good old Reuters. You got a little, well, it's not a pretty picture, but it is a picture nevertheless of the Ford F-150 Lightning. And specifically, it's by Nora Eckert, and she says, quote, Ford urges its managers to buy more EVs while leasing new ones under their new policy. Which, yeah, new policy is, I would argue it's more of a punishment. Now they say, quote, Ford Motors is trying to get more of its managers to buy electric vehicles, according to an internal email the automaker sent a few weeks ago, reviewed by Reuters. The Dearborn, Michigan-based company changed a leasing program to offer eligible and current former managers, now requiring them to order the electric Mustang Mach-E SUV, or the F-150 Lightning pickup if they wish to lease a supplemental vehicle. Workers are allowed to set a number of leased vehicles, typically one or two, depending on their management level, before ordering a supplemental car. This is the first time Ford has restricted employees to buying EVs for the supplemental lease program, a company spokesman said. Which, I was going to say, and allegedly, I read this article, this is not to punish the employees. That was not the actual intent. I thought this might be an instance where if a manager was performing poorly or if they were showing up late to work every day, instead of getting something fun like a real Mustang with stick shift and a V8 like they should all have by default, or a good old Ford F-150 pickup truck with a gas engine, they'd force them to use these. But this actually is for all employees. It's not a punishment program. Now, their spokesman says, quote, by encouraging our employees to drive electric vehicle through the optional program, they can learn firsthand how easy it is to better share their experience with friends and family. A key way to increase familiarity with new technology, unquote. Which, I mean, I'm not saying your family would banish you at the Christmas table or the Thanksgiving table if you were just bombastically talking about how awesome your F-150 Lightning or Mustang E-Mach EV is. But I'm not saying your family would necessarily punish you for the rest of your life or not invite you like every year after that. But they might just not pass the, I don't know what people eat these days, yams or potatoes when you ask for them. They might just start to ignore you because, yeah, I know two or three people that have EVs, and I don't know, maybe it's kind of like veganism. They can't help but tell you every time you meet them for a minute or two. But nevertheless, this is also, I don't think it's coincidence, this is also with their sales not doing as best as they projected. Now, CEO Jim Farley actually noted that they first expected to pump out about 150,000 vehicles for the EV. And it looks like last year they sold 24,000 F-150 Lightnings and 41,000 of the Mach-E's. So not doing so great. Their hybrid sales are increasing exponentially. That's actually increased 25.3% year over year. Granted, that's like most automotive manufacturers, that's the biggest trend. But some sad news, and granted, this is a optional thing. You're not forced to lease from the company, but usually, traditionally, it's one of the nice perks of working there. I mean, I have family who worked for the big three, back in Michigan, and most automotive companies have those programs where they'll lease it to you for not at a loss. Some might debate a loss, but a very, 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 very aggressive price point. Because again, it's a nice perk for working at the company. You do tell your family and friends about it. Great way to build, that local word of mouth. But forcing them so that it's now only the EVs, again, it almost sounds like a cruel and unusual punishment. Because now you can only, and I can't help but wonder, they would probably not tell us that, but in terms of the take rate of how many employees are choosing the EVs versus, the gas engine platforms for the lease program, again, this is just 100% speculation. I can't help but think it'd probably be 98 or 99% of people wanting to lease the reliable, durable ones. But let me know in the comments, do you think this is cruel and unusual punishment for Ford executives or Ford managers? Now, if they want to lease a vehicle through the company, they're going to have to, again, use the Mustang E-Mach, which, again, is a bastardized... It has nothing to do with the real Mustang that you and I know and love, with the stick shift, 3 pedals and a V8. It's the electric SUV, or the F-150 Lightning, which, yeah. Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.